Hey guys, Paul Zamorelli here with VHSCollector.com, and we're going to be reviewing a Blu-ray. You know what, it's been like 5 months since I did a review. It doesn't really feel that long, but time flies. I've been in school and been busy with the website, a lot of stuff going on with the website, and I might actually make a separate video about that, talking about all the work that's kind of been going on behind the scenes. If you go on the website now, you might not see a lot of the changes that have been happening, but a lot of cool stuff, which we'll talk about another time. But until then, I thought I would catch up with a Blu-ray review, and so I decided to get this one here, The Dead Next Door. This was released by Tempe Video, directly from them, right from the guy who made it, J.R. Bookwalter. But I did pre-order this from their website for I think like $35. It's supposed to be the Ultimate Edition, and this thing is jam-packed with some great stuff. It has 3 cuts of the movie, all the features that were on all the previous releases almost, which is something we'll talk about later. And it has the soundtrack, which is awesome. So a lot of interesting stuff on here. Now this came out I think December. I know the release date kept getting pushed and pushed. I didn't even know when I would ever get it, but I think I got this in December. These are each individually numbered. Mine is 382. The reverse of this cover art has the original cover art from the VHS release. But I actually do prefer the original cover art, but I stick to this one only because I could see all the features that are on here. Now, if you've used the reversible cover art, it has a signature box on there, which I'll show you. It has J.R. Bookwalter's signature there on the reverse side of the cover art. But the problem with that is that it just removes all the features on the sleeve, so I'm just sticking with the new cover just so I could see all those features, so I could just pull it off the shelf and see exactly what's on here. But yeah, you get a little booklet, which is pretty much standard with a lot of Blu-rays now. When I saw the page on Indiegogo, or maybe it was even the website, it states that it's going to have all the features of the previous DVD releases. This was released multiple times. It was released at least one time that I'm aware of. I'm sure it was released all over the world and other places on VHS. But as far as DVD, it was released by Anchor Bay in 2004. But before that, there was another release from Astro Records and Filmworks, and this was in 2001, so this was a few years before the Anchor Bay one. That's very interesting for a few reasons, but I'll get back to that in a second. But let's just talk about exactly what's on here. Now, you get the VHS prints of the movie. Now, this was the original cut of the movie. Now, the way they cut this movie, which was kind of standard during this time with direct-to-video type stuff, they took all the film footage, transferred it to videotape, and then they edited the movie on videotape. It includes that original version of the movie. Then in 2004, Anchor Bay financed a restoration of the movie, which meant they had to go back to the original film elements. They had most of the elements there, thank goodness, but some of the elements were missing, so they had to use, unfortunately, video footage. They went through strip by strip and recut the movie and made a much better version than what was on the original VHS release. And now we're in 2016, or 2015 in this case, and they wanted to remaster it on or at least the producer or the filmmaker of this original movie wanted to remaster it on HD. He went back to these original materials, transferred it in 2K, went frame by frame himself and cleaned up a lot of the shots, cleaned up some of the goofs in the movie, cleaned up a lot of the scratches, did an incredible color job on this. He did it all himself within, I think, 5 or 6 months. So it was truly a labor of love for him. So it looks gorgeous. It's probably the best the film is ever going to look. So that's cool. But what I love about this release is that this is the ultimate release. This is the kind of release that every movie should have, but of course there's all kinds of licensing issues and all types of things that prevent some DVD or Blu-ray companies to compile all the features from previous releases into one. And I'm still shocked of some features that have never been ported over to new Blu-rays. It's like, why not? There are some awesome commentary tracks out there that are lost in some out-of-print DVD somewhere. And that brings me to what's actually missing on this Blu-ray. It is actually missing a feature. It does not include every single feature from every DVD release, despite what the website or that Indiegogo campaign said. So what is it missing? Well, in 2001, it was first released, I think, to DVD from what I mentioned before, Astro Records and Filmworks. This is that original first DVD. This is a transfer of the movie from the video print. But what's interesting about this is that it has the very first commentary track with the director. Now, anyone who knows the Dead Next Door knows by now that it was financed by Sam Raimi, anonymously. And he's not on the credits, obviously, he's nowhere. This includes the only commentary track where J.R. Bookwalter talks openly about Sam Raimi and names him by name. He doesn't hide it at all. And of course, maybe for that reason, it was excluded from this Blu-ray release. So anyone who wants the inside story about Sam Raimi and all that, you need to get your hands on this, and good luck. It's from 2001. It's over friggin' 10 years old. So if you can get it, great. Or maybe you could find it somewhere online. But I really wish this commentary had been on the Blu-ray, because I think it's more honest in a way. It's been a while since I listened to the Anchor Bay commentary for the first DVD release, or second DVD release, the first Anchor Bay release. And I did listen to the new commentary track recorded for the new Blu-ray, which is interesting. But of course, both the Anchor Bay and the new Blu-ray release commentary tracks does not mention Sam Raimi by name, but this one does. And it's just not on the Blu-ray. So that was a little disappointing. And I knew that a long time ago, even before any talk about this. I knew that even during the Anchor Bay days. And that's why I made sure I got my hands on this before I couldn't get it, that commentary track, because I'm just a nut with the commentary tracks. I love my films that have commentary tracks. It's kind of like sitting with the directors or the cast and watching the movie. So it's missing on here, unfortunately. But that doesn't mean that this release is flawed. It's not perfect. It's a little flaw, and that's the flaw. But everything else is nearly perfect with this. Great menu design for the Blu-ray menu. It's very clean. It's great. The DVD disc, which includes the two other prints of the movie, I'm not impressed by the DVD menus, but it does have all the standard def features on there. I kind of wish that the DVD disc tried to use the theme, the menu theme of the Blu-ray disc, or at least emulate it or simulate it anyway. Because of course Blu-ray menus have different capabilities than DVD menus, but you could kind of fake it a little bit. But no, it's a totally different menu layout and design, and I really wish there was some consistency. But yeah, this has all kinds of features on there. It has the new stuff that's not on any other DVD release, which is great. So has some reunions and audition footage, and honestly I don't remember what was on some of those on the Anchor Bay release, but it does have stuff that was recorded since that release, so it does have new stuff. And what I really enjoyed is a little interview with J.R. Bookwalter about the restoration process. I'm very interested in film restoration and preservation, all these things. So it was really interesting to get an idea of how that process works out ultimately. And I wish more Blu-ray companies would do this. Give us a little behind the scenes of what you're actually doing. Now, Arrow is sort of going down that way, Vinegar Syndrome. I think it's slowly becoming a trend where people are more curious about the prints. Maybe not more curious, but are very curious about the prints and the process of restoring them and everything. So hopefully we see more featurettes on that process. Arrow Blu-ray releases, maybe not the earlier ones, but all the new Arrow releases on the last page of the booklet tell the source of the prints and the different production houses that did the transfers and the people who did some of the restoration. And so that's really neat. It's really awesome to get that sort of behind the scenes on the process of restoring these films. And a lot of these films are long and forgotten, so it's interesting and pretty cool that there are companies out there that find it important to restore them for maybe archival purposes for the future. I mean, of course they have an invested interest in having the best picture possible, especially when there's all these other Blu-ray companies around, but I like knowing that part of the process. So yeah, that's The Dead Next Door on Blu-ray. This is supposed to be limited, so I would say get this, because I know that it is being released by 88 Films in the UK, and I don't think it's nearly going to have as many features as this. And in fact, I'm actually surprised that 88 Films would even release this movie, because why would anybody willing to buy this movie is a fan of this movie or a fan of this genre, so I would imagine that they'd want the best possible release of the movie. And certainly 88 Films release is not going to be that, so why would anyone buy that release? They would buy this. I'd imagine that the only people that will end up buying the 88 films release are the people that missed out on this. So get this while you can. Who knows how many of these are going to be printed. These are numbered. I don't remember what the website said, how many of these were ultimately made. But yeah, definitely worth picking up. The best this film is ever going to look. It was shot on Super 8. And for a Super 8 film, it looks pretty impressive with all the restoration work now done to it. Still looks like an amateur film, but it's a big production amateur film, and so it has that sort of appeal to it. And I think for the first time, this release actually has the original spoken on-set recordings of the dialogue and everything. I think with the VHS and the Anchor Bay release, they actually had dubbed voices over the entire movie. Because the original material that was recorded on the set required some kind of a technology to read it or whatever, and they didn't really put the effort or the financing into making that possible for the Anchor Bay release. So, but they made it possible for this one, so you're finally getting the original dialogue from the movie, which is interesting. Definitely get this. I would recommend it. The movie's not the best, but even if you don't like the movie, the features are well worth it. There's a lot of stuff on here, a lot of commentary tracks. There's I think there's like 3 commentary tracks on here, 2 with the director. You're almost getting everything on here. Like I said, it's not going to include that very first commentary track, but I mean, it is what it is. So I understand why it couldn't be on here for, I'm sure, legal reasons with Sam Raimi. So this has been Paul with VHScollector.com. I actually have a bunch of VHS reviews lined up, and hopefully I get around to those. I also have gotten a lot of Blu-rays lately, and I wish I could just talk about them more. I just haven't had more time to make videos, but hopefully I can squeeze out a few more videos after this. So that is it with me. Come by and check out VHScollector.com, and I will see you guys next time.